हरे कृष्ण। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। Hare Krishna. So we'll just do an overview of this chapter. This is the tale of King Priyavrat. So Priyavrat Maharaj is sitting and he is doing his austerities, and later on he becomes a very great king also. So generally after becoming king people become yogis, but Priyavrat Maharaj's life was having a different turn. So first he was a very renounced person, then he becomes the king, and after that again he goes for renunciation. So this is how his life went. So here the question what Parikshit Maharaj was that the philosophical dilemma is household life is the root cause of bondage of karma, fruitive activities. We were discussing yesterday this fruitive mentality. And devotees are fully satisfied by the shade of Lord's lotus feet. So they don't need anything outside. They are completely satisfied within. They don't need anything from outside to satisfy them again. And then the Mahatmas, great souls, cannot possibly be absorbed in family affairs. Even if they go also, their heart cannot be there. So the main question is, King Parikshit inquire, how is it possible for a person like King Priyavrata, who was attached to wife, children and home, to achieve the topmost infallible perfection in Krishna consciousness? So first he was doing good, then again he got caught up with all these things, and again how did he achieve perfection? So that was his question. So that was the first part. And then Priyavrat Maharaj, he actually he was trained by great sage Narada Muni, and he was very advanced in the highest perfection of Bhakti Yoga, and his internal status is that his senses are fully engaged in service of Lord. He viewed the kingdom as a poisonous ocean of material desires. So although ordered by his father to rule, he rejected it, fearing diversion from his constant remembrance of the Supreme Lord. So that was the state. So then what happens? Brahma comes here. So Lord Brahma is the first created being and engineer of the universe. He leaves his abode to intervene personally into this matter. So Narada Muni, Swayambhu Manu and Priyavrata are present, and Brahmaji is coming. And when Brahmaji appears like the full moon surrounded by illuminating stars, so this is at the Gandhamadana hills. So now from here onwards Brahmaji instructs. So we'll see the instructions of Brahmaji first here, and then we'll come to the recap again. So here Brahma is giving a very important understanding. So what are the instructions of Brahma? The Supreme Person within the universe said, my dear, Brahma is saying, my dear Priyavrat, kindly hear attentively what I shall say to you. Do not be jealous of Supreme Lord, who is beyond our experimental measurements. All of us, including Lord Shiva, your father and great sage Maharshi Narada, must carry out the orders of Supreme Lord. We cannot deviate from his order. Now, why he is telling that we don't be envious of the Supreme Lord? So we'll try to understand. This is actually a very important point. Of the 12 authorities in devotional service, 4 Lord Brahma himself, in his and his son Swayambhu Narada and Swayambhu Manu and Lord Shiva were present before Priyavrata. Means Shiva also came there along with Brahmaji. So out of the 12, 4 Mahajans are here. And they were accompanied by many other authoritative sages. And Brahmaji first wanted to impress on Priyavrat that although these great personalities are all authorities, they cannot possibly disobey the Supreme Lord, who is described in the in this verse as Deva, which means always glorious. The power, glory, and potencies of Supreme Lord can never be diminished. So Ishopanishads say this Purnamada Purnam. Apapa Viddham, that means never contaminated, which indicates that he is never affected by anything materially considered sinful. Similarly, Bhagavatam describes the Supreme Lord as being so powerful that nothing we might consider abominable can affect him. And now, an example sometimes given to explain the position of Supreme Lord is that of the sun, which evaporates the urine from the earth but is never affected by contamination. When Lord Brahma went to Priyavrat to accept the responsibility for ruling the earth, he did not go whimsically. He was following the dictations of Supreme Lord. This is actually the most important thing. Why Brahma is telling don't be envious? Priyavrata is a devotee, na? Why he is telling don't be envious of Supreme Lord? What does it mean? Priyavrata, we said demons are envious, devotees, and Priyavrata, that is exalted personality. And now when Brahma is coming, he is not coming whimsically. He was following the dictations of Supreme Lord. Indeed, Brahma and other genuine authorities never do anything without his permission. So always they are taking blessings of Supreme Lord and doing. This is actually not being envious. So envious means we don't want to accept authority. That is the sign of envy. So here this is the sign of envious. Envious person don't accept authority. So this is one of the symptoms. That's why he is telling her, don't be envious. You just have to accept the authority. The Supreme Lord is in everyone's heart. Te Brahma Hridaya. The Lord dictates Vedic knowledge to Brahma. So for Brahma, directly Lord speaks in the heart only. So, Tetam Tatate Yuktanam Bhajatam Pritipurvakam Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam. Enamam, I give the Buddhi. So here, what Brahma is telling that Brahma is not coming out of his own whimsical understanding. It is understood that he has been ordered to persuade Priyavrata by the Supreme Lord, whose activities cannot be understood by material senses, and who is therefore described him as Aprameyaha. Thus Lord Brahma first advised Priyavrata to hear his words with attention and without envy. Like children, if like this, I like in the school, I felt sometimes I don't want to hear some teachers. Why I am not happy? Because the teacher punished me 1-2 times, and then I don't want to listen to her. What happened? I became envious of her. She punished me, so I don't want to listen to her. Disobeying the order because I am envious. That is what one of the things. And another is, I may not hate the person, I may be in the temple, but I don't want to follow the authority all the time. Sometimes I am following, but sometimes I am not following. That is also envy only. So why one is induced to perform certain acts despite his desires to do something else is indicated here. One cannot disobey the orders of Supreme Lord, even one is as powerful as Lord Shiva, Brahma, Manu, or great sage Narada. See, this is very important. Here in this world, if we do according to my desire, it is sinful activities. So even act despite his desire to do something else. So this is actually sinful mentality. Right? So we are sinful mentalities. If I have my own I want to do my own thing, doing my own activity. If we are doing our things, then we are doing sinful activity. That means we are envious. I just have to do what Lord wants. That's why we discuss this. What is sin? Sin means I like, I don't like means sin. Then what we should do? We should do what Lord wants. So all these authorities are certainly very powerful, but they do not have the power to disobey the Supreme Lord. Since Lord Brahma has come to pre-birth in accordance with the orders of Supreme Lord, he first wanted to dispel any suspicion that he might be acting as Prevrat's enemy. So Lord Brahma is following the orders of Supreme Lord, and therefore it would be worthwhile for Prevrat to accept. So this is a very important point. We can check whether we have envy or not, if I am following authority or not. If I am not following authority, I am envious. If I am not following, I am envious. So this is the first instruction Brahma is given to Priyavrat. You can remember like this. Don't be envious. And I because in ashram we are staying, so we know. And at least I can tell for myself. If some authority says I don't want to follow because I am envious, so then I understood. Okay, it won't work like this. Now it is a different case, but previously that was there. You don't like somebody, you don't want to follow them. And then, even though he is authority, but there is envy. So sometimes it is grossly manifested, but when it comes to Supreme Lord, it is settled. When we don't obey the Lord, Prabhuji, we are always obeying the Lord. Actually, we are not obeying all the time. How do we know I am obeying? Am I obeying the Lord of instruction of Lord all the time? No. If we are obeying, we will never complain. So, if I am complaining, and there are grudges, and there is enmity, all these things actually proves that there is envy. Arey, why this is not correct, why that is not correct? Yeah, because the Lord want it. So you can shut your mouth. Like that we should tell to our mind. Because Lord want it like that. So what is the problem? We just have to continue. We can know that I have this envy or not, because all the things that are happening now, that is by will of Lord only. Time is what? Will of the Lord. So time is making everything happen. So then there is no point in arguing and fighting. Right? So we have to accept it. Okay, the economy is booming or economy is crashing. Krishna wants it. And Kali Yuga's effects are increasing. Yes, Krishna wants it like that. So we just accept it, no complaints. That is what is non-envious person. The non-envious person, he never complains because he is accepting the will of Lord. We are complaining means I am not accepting. Like that. And न तस्य कश्चित् तपसा विद्यया वा न योगवीर्येण मनीषया वा नैवार्थधर्मै परतः स्वतो वा कृतं विहन्तुं तनुभृत् विधूयात्. One cannot avoid the orders of the Supreme Lord, not by the strength of severe austerities, an exalted Vedic education, or power of mystic yoga, physical prowess, or intellectual activities. No one can use his power of religion, his material opulence, or any other means, either by himself or with the help of others, to defy the orders of the Supreme Lord. It is not possible or any living being from Brahma down to ant. So again the same instructions. No matter how, whatever we have, we cannot disobey the orders of the Supreme Lord. Down from top from Lord Shiva, Brahma to an ant. Everybody has to obey the orders of the Supreme Lord. There is no choice. So with our material strength and all these things, so no matter what we do, we can't disobey. What happens if we disobey? It becomes a sinful activity because we are envious. So very nice point is telling. So if Brahmaji want to convince Priyavrata Maharaj, he's directly hitting the point. Arey, why I have to convince you? You just follow his way of convincing is telling that it is not my desire I am coming and telling to you. It's Lord who want it. And everybody is following Lord's order. And why are you not following? Brahma is doing, I am doing, Narada is doing, everybody, even from top to bottom, even ant is also following the will of Lord. If Lord wants you to marry, why are you not marrying? Priyavat may say, but Lord didn't come and tell me. Brahma is telling, Arey, I came na on behalf of Lord. Lord only sent to me because I don't get deviated. I am one of the Mahajans. Lord is directly speaking in my heart. In the first beginning of creation, He spoke in my heart. That's how I came to know all the Vedas. So this is the point. And here Prabhupada is writing Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Yajnavalkya says to Gargi, his wife, sorry, the daughter of Garga Muni, Gargi. Yajnavalkya's wife is Gargi, who is the daughter of Garga Muni. He says, Aksharasya parasane Gargi Surya Chandramaso Vidaratu Tishtataha. He says that my dear Gargi, everything is under the control of Supreme Lord. Even the sun, the moon, and other controllers, the demigods like Brahma, King Indra, are all under my control. An ordinary human being or animal who was accepted as accepted mental body cannot go beyond the jurisdiction of Supreme Lord. This is another thing. Actually, only humans have little freedom and above humans. Others don't have freedom. They just act according to they cannot go beyond the jurisdiction of Supreme Lord's control. So I showed you the image in the beginning. So it is what is telling. The next one also is going to tell the same thing. So here the instructions are like the bull image I have shown. Yeah, here. Inevitable. One cannot avoid the orders of Supreme Lord by austerity, Vedic education, mystic yoga, or physical prowess. So we must carry out our duties like bulls, obliged to move according to the directions of a driver pulling a rope. So this is the analogy that is given. If bull is trying to pull away, it undergoes so much pain. So similarly for us also. We'll come back to the purport. I'll just take few points here. So a material body includes senses. However, the sense activities of so-called scientists who try to be free from God's law or laws of nature are useless. So this is the word Manishaya is of a specific significance. Priyavrata may argue that Lord Brahma was requesting him to accept family life and responsibility by ruling a kingdom, although Narada Muni has advised him not to enter household life and be entangled in material affairs. Whom to accept would be a puzzle for Priyavrata, because both are authorities only. Guru is only directly telling, and Narada is no less. Because both Lord Brahma and Narada are authorities. So Priyavrata may argue, I am following authority only, I am not doing my own. Guru told me, Narada is telling me. Under the circumstances, the use of word Manishaya is very appropriate, for it indicates that since both Narada Muni and Brahma are authorities to give instructions, Priyavrata should neither neglect of them but should use his intelligence to follow the advice of both. This is such a wonderful thing. So he has to follow the instructions of both people, not just should neither neglect nor use intelligence. So the next continuation, he says that of course everything is meant to be enjoyed by the Supreme Lord, Bhuktaram Yajnatapasam, and therefore everything should be dovetailed for his enjoyment. So here things are clear. Always follow the orders of Supreme Lord. And how do we know the orders of Supreme Lord? From our authorities. That's all. And authority in the sense we have Shastras and Guru. Bhavayana saya cha karma kartum shokaya mohaya sada bhayaya sukhaya dukkhaya cha deha yogam avyakta-dishtam janatanga datte. He says that, my dear Priyavrata, by the order of the Supreme Lord, all living entity accept different types of bodies for birth and death, activity, lamentation, illusion, fear of further dangers, happiness and distress. So this is by the will of the Supreme Lord only we are getting our body. By will of Supreme Lord only we are going to get death also. And we are able to perform certain activities. We are undergoing to illusion, we are fearful, happiness, distress. Everything is one person. So that is the Supreme Lord. So every living entity within the who has come to this material world has come here from material enjoyment, but according to his own karma activity, he must accept a certain type of body given to him by material nature. Prakriti Kriyamanane. This is a very nice explanation. So just I'll show this part of the PPT once, and then we will just finalize. Yeah, so here it says universal skill. Everyone from Lord Shiva down to ant must carry the orders of Supreme Lord. Do not be jealous of Supreme Lord. So Vedic injunctions are like this. So it is directly created by the Lord. So now another vision of the liberated soul, this instruction. So very interesting. Actually this point I forgot to highlight. What Prabhupada is writing is Priyavrata Maharaj is following both Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma. That is the reason Lord did not Brahma and Narada Muni both are seeming to give different instructions, but both can be followed. That's actually what Lord wants. So this is also we saw in the first canto of Bhagavatam, when Arjuna was told by Bhima to kill Ashwatthama, and then Draupadi and Yudhishthir, Nakul, they said don't kill. And Krishna is telling you should satisfy both. So here also Narada is telling don't enter into family life, it is a problem. And Swayambhu Manu is telling no, no, come get married. And now the main duty is whom? The main duty is the person who is like Arjuna. He could satisfy both. How did he satisfy? He went to deep into meditation and try to understand the will of Lord, and accordingly he acted. So if somebody acts in a pure Krishna conscious way, then he will be given intelligence from within. That's how it works. Okay, any questions, comments? No questions, comments. Yes, Veer Krishna, I'll share the PPT. If that is not.
Not for PPT, bro. Bro, here we see that Privrat Maharaj, he is following instruction of both Narad as well as Brahmaji. But we also see that bro, that Privrat Maharaj, he was, I mean, he was quite affectionate to his family life, and he was. It appears that he was quite attached also. So how that principle ki anasakta visaya and how he, I mean, it is fitting to him.
Yeah, yeah. See, Akinchana Vittaya means Kuntimaran explained Janma Ishvara Sutta Sri Viredavana Madapuma Naivartam Vidatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gochara. When Kunti is telling Akinchana Gochara, that means not that he does not have only money and all these things. No, he may have, but he don't identify with them. So that is the main point. It is not positions you have or not. How much you are identifying with what you have is the problem. If you are very strongly identifying with your possessions, then you are entangled. So Priyavrat Maharaj, even though he was having, he is not identifying with them because he can see clearly the object's connection with Krishna. Generally we don't see the connection, that's why we start exploiting the objects. If you see the connection, we don't exploit. I will write for you this important point. So exploitation is because we don't see the connection. And then don't see the connection. So if we see the connection of an object, then we don't exploit. And also we are very clear about what is the purpose. So two things are needed for us to we should not have wrong identification and we should not have wrong mentality. So first is wrong identification. So we are considering I am the boss and they are my subjects and other things. Then we start identifying with them, and then what happens? Then there is exploitation. Or first of the exploitation of resources, and then people. So this is how we get entangled. Otherwise, if you are seeing connection, then there is no problem. Clear, bro?
All right. So, but bro, this identification, we see that this I mean, clear identification, it appears only at bhava level, not before that. So, does it mean that Privrat Maharaj, he was at bhava level?
No, no, no. Why Bhava level? Now also we have to identify with our Guru. Like no, we identify ourselves as members of ISKCON. We are identifying that I belong to my Guru. I have to serve my Guru, and this is very much possible now also. Why at the level of Bhava? So identification
Mm,
basically means I am servant of Guru,
right.
right? So if
Mm.
you are servant of Guru, then what you have to do? Just serve Guru.
Right, right. Clear, bro. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Sin was sin was present.
Hare Krishna. Pranam Prabhuji, thank you so much.
Then,
Prabhuji, my question, in fact, you have answered it during the course of discussion itself only. But still, I wanted to hear in a detailed way that how do we understand that what is, how can, whatever we are doing is doing for the pleasure of Krishna. Because sometimes our mind thinks that if I do this, but in the inner of inner hearts, that is our own kind of desire or thought. But how do we exactly understand that or have that kind of thought process that whatever we are doing for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna? Not that our mind is thinking, but somehow in the some corner that actually I want it for my own self, but I think that I'm doing it for the pleasure of Krishna. So how can we exactly come to the point that where we are fully on that consciousness that I'm doing it for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna? Am I able to frame the question, Prabhuji? Have you understood? Or
yeah, I understood something. So basically, uh, we have to be conscious all the time, bro. Like, say now I am giving class. Now I can be conscious. Okay, I am doing for the pleasure of Guru, Vaishnavas, and Krishna.
mm,
So Krishna conscious is moment to moment choice. Like in the previous session also this was discussed. Like it's every moment I have to make a choice to be consciously connecting myself to Krishna, because our tendency is of the mind is till we come to stage of Nishtha it always goes down only, it won't go up. If you don't put an effort, mind tend to go down, it will want to get relaxed, it won't want to be alert where you are very enthusiastically serving. It won't happen like that. Say for example, if your Guru Maharaj comes to your house and
mm,
want to stay for 3 days,
mm,
now how alert you will be. You may be
mm,
doing the daily activities only, but you will be doing with a great consciousness. That means what, everyday activity only, na, but now what happened, you become conscious.
mm,
Now if you imagine that whole all the time Guru is there with you, how consciously we will do, but we don't want it because we want to be relaxed. Tamoguna overtakes us, we are lazy. 3 days Guru is okay. If Guru says I'll stay 3 months, then we will become little scared. I say, I can, how can, it is not that he is going to he is a physical burden for us, it is a
mm.
burden where mental burden. Because we don't want to be conscious, we want to be little relaxed. So that is the problem. So if you are conscious, to the degree you are conscious, that time you are pleasing Krishna definitely. Whenever you are consciously doing an activity, your job or you are chanting, you are even honoring prasadam, anything consciously we are doing, we are pleasing Krishna, that we can know.
Wonderful, Prabhuji. Wonderful. Thank you so very much.
Hare Mahateja Narhari Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Dandavad Pranam Prabhuji.
Then
Prabhu, one of the Mayavadi sannyas, he told, basically, he was saying, we'll chant Hare Krishna mantra. Basically, that how can we chant the person? Means, how can you chant Hare Krishna mantra means with so much attention? And sometimes I also feel that we'll not chant attentively. So we'll for finishing rounds we'll also chant. How can we basically what we can say is how can we counteract Prabhuji means uh, in the mind what he said so we'll become a uh, what you can say how we'll get a taste if you chant mantra continuously. That's what he was mentioning. Actually, I never hear, but I had this lecture. But somewhat I getting I'm somewhat I'll get disturbed. Ruji. How can you please clarify?
या स्यात् कृष्ण नाम चरिता सस्ताप्त वित्त पित्तोपतप्त तप्तोत्तरप्त रसनस्य नरोचिकानु किंतु आदरात् अनुदिनं कलुसैव जिष्ट स्वादिक्रमादि तद्गतमूल. So किंतु आदरात् अनुदिनं, so there is no swad, there is no taste, but if you are doing it with respect and every day regularly, Then slowly the taste will come. So if you are not committing offenses and if you are doing very respectfully, so the heart is getting cleansed. Why heart is getting cleansed? This also we discussed previously. So when you are chanting, what is happening is with very respectfully,
Yeah.
we are pleasing the Lord. Because Lord is pleased, our heart is getting cleansed. And because our heart is getting cleansed, then slowly the dirt is removed, then the taste of the holy name will come.
Yes.
Say, for example, if you went to your relative's house, your sister or somebody, and if they are having a small child or somebody, and when you are going, he comes and falls at your feet and offer obeisances. How do you feel? Your heart will melt or not? You feel little.
Yes. Yes,
Huh.
bro.
Now, if we are going to Krishna and falling at his feet and chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna will also, his heart will also melt. And
Yes.
because we pleased Krishna, he will clean our heart slowly. And our heart gets clean, then we start experiencing that happiness. Then we start getting the taste. So, because the heart is not clean now, that's why we are not getting taste. So, that is the point. So for me
Yes.
to get the taste, I need to, what I should do, I have to chant and please
And
Lord.
yes.
So that's why we say, na, if you do service to Vaishnavas, you get the taste for hearing the whole Katha, Krishna Katha. Shushusho
And
Shaddadanasya Vasudeva Kataruchi Shan Mahat Sevaya Vipra. When you do Mahat Seva, you get taste for Katha. Why you are getting taste for Katha when you are serving? When you are serving Vaishnavas, you are pleasing the Lord. Because Lord is pleased, you are getting the taste. You will clean your heart. When heart is clean, then we'll get taste. That is the formula.
yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Any other questions, comments? Okay, thank you all very much. We'll end here. ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.